most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
My complexion, we too gutter. Light-skinned women, they more sensitive, you know?
There's some dark-skinned women out here sensitive.
No, they too tough. They too tough. Light-skinned women, we could break them down more easy, you know what I'm saying?
Hi everyone. So today we're going to be talking about interracial dating. So buckle up. I know a lot of people are not going to like this video, but honestly, what I'm going to say in this video is nothing new. A lot of black women have been talking about this, and I would like to contribute to this discussion. I've tried to film this video 3 different times already. So just drop a like for me if you don't mind. If you want to help me keep my sanity and remind me why I'm doing this in the first place. I want to handle this topic with care, and I just hope my message gets across, but if it doesn't to the wrong people, that's not within my control. The girls who get it, and the girls who don't. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So typically when we think of interracial dating within the black community, we think of a black man dating a white woman or a black man with another woman. They have been the face of interracial dating within the black community for decades. But now we're seeing a shift where black women are now branching outside of the black community when it comes to our love interests. And this is quite significant, but historically, black women have been extremely loyal to black men. And a lot of black women have been alone and haven't found their partners because of this strict loyalty to black men. And now we're starting to see that black women don't think this way anymore, especially women within Gen Z. And it feels significant because black men have never had an issue dating outside of their race, but black women have been more reluctant to do so. This video was inspired by the pasta and lobster trend that's been going around on TikTok. If you don't know, there's a trend where black girls are showing off their white boyfriends to the audio, "Got a white boy on my roster, he be feeding me pasta and lobster."
Got a white boy on my roster, he be feeding me pasta and lobster. He just hit me up on Tuesday like, what you doing, babe? Let me take you shopping. I told him, well, I'm a little busy.
And so now black girls are using the term pasta and lobster to describe these kinds of interracial relationships. Black woman, white man, or just pasta and lobster referring to a white boy. Girls will be in the comments like, oh, I need to find me a pasta and lobster. Black women for so long have been so loyal to black men, and we're seeing how that loyalty to black men hasn't really been serving us all that much in our happiness and our pursuit of a healthy, loving relationship. Also, it seems that a lot of these women in these pasta and lobster relationships seem to be very happy and content, and I wanted to talk about that and why that is.
If you're black, nothing for you, but if you're white, there's something for you.
You dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I don't got nobody just with you right now. Tell the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose.
I'm always happy to see black women in happy relationships. Doesn't matter who it's with, as long as they're happy, they're being treated right, and they're not going 50-50. Oh, if you're a black woman on the internet who has been following this stuff, then you'll know that seeing a black woman with a white man isn't necessarily the same thing as seeing a black man with a white woman. So, with all that being said, let's really get into it, okay? So, first and foremost, we have to start with the loyalty, like I mentioned, and how, unfortunately, loyalty is a losing game as black women. So I'm sure many of you are aware of the fact that black people have been oppressed, especially in America, for centuries, and the years of systemic oppression has really poisoned the minds of black Americans. Black men who have been wounded by white supremacy and haven't addressed those wounds and have internalized that hatred, project that onto black women, unfortunately. Black women, we understand this, we know this, but still we have let our kindness and our empathy and compassion blind us and stop us from finding true, pure love. The ride or die, the struggle love, that has been very normalized within the black community. And now black women are realizing, oh, I don't want this, and this isn't what we deserve. I want to be with someone who loves me and treats me well. And we can have all this empathy for black men, but at the end of the day, are they showing the same empathy for us? No, not always. We can make all these excuses, but are they making the same excuses for us? Because black women, we face not only racism, but misogyny as well. Misogyny noir. And so we haven't been given excuses. We face so much discrimination and oppression in this world, yet we have still managed to step up and at this point outperform Black men. And I'll get into the statistics of that with education and income and things like that. But I really want to address the abuse that Black women have faced from Black men themselves, because unfortunately a lot of the hatred and the harmful stereotypes and negative messaging that we have received as Black women when it comes to our desirability has come from our own men. Black women have been jumping through hoops to appease Black men and to try to earn their love and their loyalty, but we are never enough. We're too dark, or we're too loud, we're too demanding, we're ghetto, we're ratchet. We are all of these things. We expect too much.
I love when I go on my TikTok and I go through my For You page and I see a bunch of Black women with white men, or whatever they call it, pasta, lobster. Like, I love it because a lot of Black men like to say, nobody wants you guys. You guys are undesirable. No man wants to deal with y'all's attitudes and y'all's anger issues and yada, yada, yada. But then they'll say y'all have no other options. Nobody else wants y'all. But then I'm seeing on my timeline, literally every time I go on my TikTok, I see a Black woman with a white dude or Hispanic or whatever. So maybe it's y'all that don't want us. They want us to believe that nobody else wants us and we're just so undesirable.
Black men have been emasculated by white supremacy, and sometimes they project their sensitivity around their masculinity onto Black women. Black women are faced with the consequences of that, and we're always in this game of trying to be feminine enough for Black men, but also providing for them at the same time, and it's very contradictory and confusing.
Listen, a lot of women, especially Black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I will, in our society right now, Black women are making a lot more money for the most part than Black men, right? There are a lot of Black men who are successful, but for the most part, Black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job and is a good man and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can, because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill. As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm gonna cover the mortgage and all the other stuff, you've handled the light bill, baby, you can take me to dinner every now and then, that is fine.
Yeah.
This whole light bill conversation is nothing new. Black women have been discussing their counterparts trying to lowball them for the last 40 years in their novels. Jill Nelson, Terry McMillan, Benilde Little, Gloria Naylor. Pearl Clegg have been talking about this since the 1980s. These guys have been coming with these very clever lines, whining since the end of slavery pretty much. Oh my God, I can't possibly do all the things that all the other men do. It's unreasonable to expect it because slavery and discrimination and Jim Crow. Yet they think it's perfectly reasonable to expect Black women to fulfill all these feminine requirements. You want submission, you want the house clean, you want all the child rearing and labor done, and you also expect us to go out and work. And now it's gotten even worse. I think this was their plan all along. Now they want us to pay to have them in our lives. You're expected to subsidize these men. Like, we do not also face discrimination and whatnot in trying to find and maintain work and getting an education and making money.
I think it's interesting, being a baby mama is very prevalent within the Black community. That's where the phrase comes from in the first place. And it's a very interesting place to be. You have bared the child of a man who will not commit to you. And they think, oh, that's enough. That should be enough. I'm not going to give her the commitment of being her husband and caring for her and making that commitment to my baby mama, but also this child. And the reason why I say, it's different to see a Black woman with a white man compared to the inverse is that a lot of Black men who only date white women oftentimes will say why they date white women in contrast to why they don't date Black women.
And it feels like far too many Black men who date out make it their entire personality and cannot go 5 minutes without telling the world how much better white women or Latino women are compared to Black women. And this is probably the most prominent point of conflict of interracial relationships for Black people.
I don't date Black women now because of past experiences. They like to place that strong personality on you, and sometimes you just kind of Just like, stay in a woman's place.
So do you have any idea why you're here?
We share some of the same
opinions.
About?
Why are black women so angry?
And so these black men who will say these derogatory things towards black women to explain why they date white girls are really telling on themselves, because they are dating white women as a way to increase their proximity to whiteness and to further themselves from their black identity, because they hate their black identity. The black men who talk down to dark-skinned black women are usually other dark-skinned men.
I just said I don't like women with my complexion. I like light-skinned women. I want you to be lighter than me. I love African-American women, but I just don't like my skin complexion. Black people, my complexion, we too gutter. Light-skinned women, they more sensitive, you know?
There's some dark-skinned women out here sensitive.
No, they too tough. They too tough. Light-skinned women, we could break them down more easy, you know? Light-skinned women, we could break them down more easy, you know?
Light-skinned women, we could break them down more easy.
Black women serve as a mirror to black men, but they don't like what they see in their reflection, so they will find partners who allow them to hide from themselves so they can feel good. So they don't have to look at themselves for who they truly are, so they can feel like I'm better because I'm with a white woman or even a light-skinned woman. I've also noticed that a lot of the time in black TV shows or movies, the woman is typically the lighter-skinned one in the couple and the husband is darker skinned, because to be light skinned is to be more feminine and to be dark skinned is to be more masculine. The beauty standard within the black community is having light skin with good hair, aka a loose curl pattern or straight hair. And if black men, if they wanted the 4C hair and the dark skin, that would be the beauty standard within the black community. Women wouldn't be getting silk presses and bust down wigs or lightening their skin. It's not as common in the US anymore, but that wouldn't happen if that was what black men overtly desired. The majority of black men. I'm not saying all black men don't find Afrocentric features attractive, but you know what I'm saying here. And so it's funny I'm even saying that, like the bust down wig and the straight hair, because I've heard a lot of black men say they don't like girls who wear wigs and they don't want this and that. And I've talked about this before, where men think they want something when really they want something else. They just want the illusion of it, you know? They want the illusion of natural beauty, even if it's not natural, even if you are wearing makeup or you have lash extensions or you have extensions or a wig. They don't really care that much as long as they can't tell. But God forbid you let that man touch your scalp and it's all over. You know, like they don't want to grow 4C hair, but they get mad if you're wearing a wig. You can never win. There was a creator on TikTok named Lip Gloss, and she has been driven off the internet because of hateful black men who are constantly trying to drag her. One video that went viral of hers, especially on Twitter, was where she was like combing out her natural hair, and she made an offhand comment. It was very like off the cuff random, but she was like, I only pull white guys when my hair is natural like this.
Outfit on. Let me tell you right now, I can only pull white boys with this hair, but I'm not mad, to be honest. Anyways.
And all these black men got in a hissy fit. And it's like, yeah, you're mad because you know she's right. Like, and also you're mad because other men are giving her attention for her natural beauty, for being who she is. She's being validated by other men for accepting herself for who she is at her natural state. And you're mad because you have been trying to force black women into this box to be this performance of femininity that you want that doesn't align with blackness. To put it simply, black women have been told that they are undesirable by black men and no one wants us. When in reality, that's not true, and she is proving that. They were so upset that they created a fake Hinge profile with her pictures to try and prove if her claims were true. Like, obsessed. Get a job, damn. I'd also like to include that dating apps really aren't indicative of what people find attractive or what the real world truly is like.
I have a lot of black women that come to me and say, well, the data says that black women online send the most messages and get the fewest responses. No. That was one piece of data from OkCupid 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That got reprinted and repeated and repeated, And then people started to believe it. And I'm like, if
and
that is true,
internalize it.
we internalize it.
Yeah.
And if that is true, then how have I helped this many Black women find love?
I can speak from personal experience. I have had no issues getting dates as a Black woman. And Black women are starting to become well aware of this reality and the way that we have been neglected and sometimes even abused by our own men, by Black men, and we no longer can accept it. And we've been loyal to them, but if we want to find love, if we want to find a partner who accepts us and loves us, we can't minimize our dating pool to such a small percentage of the population. Many Black women feel they should marry down before they marry out. I explained in the book why Black women should not be pressured to sacrifice their own chances for happiness out of some misplaced loyalty to Black men, nor should Black women feel beholden to Black men under the guise of advancing the race. If the price of racial solidarity is a bad, intimate relationship, then the cost is too high. Black women should not be held hostage to the struggles of Black men. So like I said, only dating Black men really minimizes your dating pool by a lot. Let's get into some statistics, okay? So the gender ratio is already very skewed. For every 88 Black male adults, there are 100 Black women. So Black women outnumber Black men by a lot. The ratio for white people is like for every 97 white males, there are 100 white women. A significant amount of Black men are unfortunately in prison. In 2013, about 6% of working age Black men were in state or federal prison or in a municipal jail. This was 3 times higher than the 2% of all men in the same age group. Despite recent declines in prison populations, disparities remain massive. African American males are imprisoned in state and federal facilities at 6 times the rate of white men and about 25 times that of Black women. And then we can get into education. Black women outnumber educated Black men. There are more educated Black women in America than educated Black men. Black women are more educated, making up 29% of the 25-plus-year-old Black people with bachelor's degrees, whereas Black men make up only 22%. Which doesn't sound significant, but when you think about it, there are more Black women than there are Black men. Black women, they are still more educated than the majority of Black men. And I'm gonna assume that most educated Black women want to be with another educated man. According to Brookings Institute data, Black men are less likely than Black women to complete high school and 50% less likely to have attained a 4-year college degree. Yet, despite the shortage of suitable Black partners, Black women have also been the least likely of any minority group to marry outside of their race. So, again, we are less likely to marry outside of our race. We have a strict loyalty to Black men. Black men don't really have that same kind of loyalty. On top of the education and the incarceration, unfortunately, Black men have a lower life expectancy. Black men are further subject to high mortality. Homicides drive up rates along with higher rates of dying from diabetes, kidney disease, and sepsis than other men. In all, the latest average life expectancy at birth for Black men is 71.5 years. And another factor that needs to be considered is the population of Black men who are gay. So that also automatically deletes a good percentage of Black men. And then there's Black men who have children already. And so if you're a high earning, educated Black woman who's never been to jail and you want a man who's at the same level as you, who doesn't have children and isn't gay, that's a very, very small percentage of Black available men. And unfortunately, those men who are eligible bachelors, Black men are twice as likely as Black women to intermarry. Of everything I've said with statistics and the internalized racism and generational trauma, Black women have become aware of this and have become fed up with it, and now comes in this pasta and lobster trend. And so a lot of Black women are realizing like, oh, we can date outside of the race. If we want love, we should be open to other people. And I think Callie, the rapper who made the song, really was just making a cultural observation and putting it in her music, and is really making a commentary on this cultural shift. I think, unfortunately, for a long time, Black women have felt limited. They felt like, you know, they're not beautiful enough, they're not feminine enough. And a lot of this messaging has come from Black men, and we've internalized this and felt, you know, if Black men don't even want us, then who else will? But what we are realizing is, oh, actually, a lot of men want us. White men have always been attracted to Black women. That's always been a thing. It's never been an issue of desirability, but unfortunately, brainwashing has led us to believe that we are not desirable and that we are unwanted. And it took years of abuse to finally look beyond the men who have been rejecting us for years and making us feel like we aren't good enough, to see that there is hope, there is love beyond black love. And I'm not saying, oh, I don't believe in black love. I believe in love in general. That's the thing. That's the point, really. And I think, you know, I'm talking specifically about white men and black women here. I think what's interesting with the white man is, like, I've heard people say that there's a understanding between the two because both are in very distinct positions in society where, you know, white men have this privilege. They are both exempt from misogyny and racism, and black women experience both misogyny and racism. And so neither are trying to compete. Neither are kind of competing in the suppression Olympics of being like, who has it worse? You know, like, there is an understanding between the two. Whereas with black men and black women, sometimes there is a friction that happens because the black man may be like, oh, well, I have it worse as a black man in America, and they sometimes struggle to empathize with the struggles that black women face, and so there's sometimes a struggle that happens there. And I actually think that's why black men and white women go together, because they both have a privilege blind spot, where white women, they have the privilege of being white, but they experience the oppression of being a woman. Black men have the privilege of being men, but they experience the oppression of being black. So, you know, those are just some theories. I love to see my girlies in happy relationships, but I'm gonna say this. White men are not the answer. Okay? I am all for interracial dating. You should date whoever makes you happy. That is the point. Date someone who loves and respects you and treats you the way that you deserve to be treated. Someone who cherishes and loves you and sees you for all of your beauty. I'm a little concerned with the pasta and lobster trend and how it's gone a little too far, like many TikTok trends tend to go. It's like, you know, oh, fun pasta and lobster is cute, and then women start to glorify white men and they think, oh, white men are the answer. Let me find me a white man so I can be happy. How do I find a white guy? It's really embarrassing as black women to be glorifying white men and to be putting them on a pedestal. That is not the point. Please, let's not set back the black community centuries by glorifying white men. You don't have to get you a pasta and lobster. You can get you a kimchi and bibimbap. You can get you a taco and burrito, whatever. It don't matter. As long as he makes you happy and he treats you right, girl, that's all I care about, okay? Because at the end of the day, a man is a man. Whether he's black, white, Asian, Hispanic, god damn it, it don't mean shit to me, fuck your ethnicity. Like, a man is a man. A white man can disrespect you just as bad as a black man, okay? So don't think that getting with a white guy is gonna guarantee a healthy, happy relationship, because it's not. It's about who he is as an individual and how he treats you as an individual.
So somebody commented on my live the other night and it was like, can you talk about what it's like being in an interracial relationship? And a part of me was like, because I was like, what am I really gonna say about it? And a part of me just doesn't want to be perceived as one of those like interracial warriors, the like interracial life swirl, you know what I'm talking about. But then I was like, wait, I do have some words for the girls, and that is to go where you are loved and seen and appreciated for all that you are. I can only speak to my experience. I've been with the same man for the past 6 years and I'm 22 years old, but my love has been a healthy, soft, just like princess love. And I simply just want all my girls, specifically my black women, to be in relationships where you can be soft and vulnerable in a world where we are the most disrespected. But I fear I would be doing you the utmost injustice if I didn't tell you that not all pasta and lobster is made equally. I look fucking nuts right now. Give me a second to pull it all together, I promise. Because at the end of the day, a white man is still a man. I don't want my girls to go out here thinking that like, if I can just secure a white man, I'm guaranteed princess treatment, I'm guaranteed success. That's not the case. Or for you to go out there in the dating world thinking that a white man is a prize. Baby, you're the prize. Stand up. Ensure that it's a white man who not only loves you, but loves and respects black people in general, who's aware of societal issues and can acknowledge the power and balance in the world between the both of you guys.
I'm all for the interracial love, the swirl. I'm about the swirl, don't get me wrong. But please, never, ever in your life, put a man above yourself and put a man on a pedestal for any reason, especially because of his race. Okay? Do you hear me? Are you listening? Okay, are you writing this down? White men are not the prize, okay? Girl, you're the prize. And treat yourself as such. I don't ever want to see y'all in these comments talk about, oh, do you like black girls? Do you like chocolate? If you're gonna have loyalty for yourself. and have loyalty for your respect and standards. We're not out here begging men for anything. We're not begging for love. Pour into yourself, into your relationships, into your passions. The rest will come. So, all that being said, love is love. I don't know. I've said what I've needed to say. Thank you for listening. I have a Patreon if you want early access to my videos or bonus content. Follow me on the gram. Listen to my music. It's very good. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.